The sun is high, we're feeling good. In Miami where the spirit's understood. With Bobby Finn's talk leading the crew. We're gonna show you what these Dolphins do. Fins up high, the crowd's roaring loud. In the city with the blue and aqua proud. Finn Stanza's here with the play-by-play. We're getting ready, it's game day. Are you ready for some football? Miami Dolphins standing tall. Are you ready for some football? Showtime at the Hard Rock, y'all. From the tailgate to the field of green with the best fans you ever seen. Bobby's got the scoop, hot off the press. In Miami, we roar to impress. Play up stats and pregame chat.
Good evening, Miami, and all those watching outside of Miami. Welcome to the Fins Talk primetime pregame show here on FTSN. Dolphins versus Steelers, Monday Night Football. I'm Bobby Fins Talk, joined always by Sammy. Finn Stanza should be joining us shortly. You know, he's being dad. He's with his son, hockey and
Family
what
first.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, family first as always. So when he gets here, he'll get here, you know. But, no, welcome to the show. Or, you know, it's been kind of at least with sports, it's felt like a bye week with the Dolphins, you know. The Heat got eliminated from the Cup, so they're playing today against Toronto. Florida Panthers are playing today, but felt like an off week. But that's good because got some shopping done, got to relax a little bit yesterday. Thought I was going to be able to sleep in, but forgot my daughter had I was in choir and I had to get up. And I was like, all right, but good nonetheless. We are here. The Dolphins, 6-7, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dolphins, of course, on a 4-game winning streak. So will that continue? We'll get into it. If you're new to the channel, welcome to FTSN. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and that notifications bell. We will be on twice today, right now, and then we will be on later this evening, immediately after the game, to react live to a Dolphins victory or a Dolphins loss. Hopefully a victory. But before we get into the game, Sammy, my man, how are you?
Oh, we're feeling good. You know, it's been a month and a half since the last time the Dolphins lost a game. So, you know, we're streaky, we're flying high. You know, it feels like, you know, like we're kind of a winning team. We'll see after tonight because, you know, that's the toughest time the Dolphins had. The cold weather December game, you know what happens. So crossing our fingers, but we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Absolutely. DSG already in the house and starting trouble as always. Aaron Rodgers ends the streak. Bobby says his name and he appeared. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers tonight, the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers, again, 7-6. I believe they're the favorites to win this game, according to ESPN. But again, as Sammy has brought up, it's been a month since the Miami Dolphins have lost. A month and a half. The run game is going. The defense has been showing up. Quarterback just doing his job, doing enough to keep Miami in it, which is good. Hopefully that does continue, but here is the issue with that. It's the weather. Make sure I get that going on here if I can find it. It's predicted down to be at 15 degrees tonight. Wind chill expected to be at 5 degrees at kickoff. So I will say I got to feel some of that yesterday and early this morning. Yesterday was 15 degrees and a wind chill. It felt like 0. And you got 3 pairs of pants. I had I had 2 sweats on the bottom. I had 3 shirt, a shirt, 2 sweaters, and a jacket over mine. I brought out my Nickelodeon members only jacket that's like thick, has a bunch of artwork on it. And, I don't really take that one out. But I did. I took that one out and I got a lot of compliments for it. I felt good because I was like, do I really want to wear this outside? Grown ass man wearing this, SpongeBob on my back and everything. You know what? But people gave me some compliments. So it was good. Kept me warm. But my face, thank God I got a beard because the rest of my face was getting killed. So I can only imagine what the team's going to feel like tonight. Obviously, we know, it is a team game, but we will mention it. Tua is winless in 40 degrees or under 40 degrees and less. So he will get that tonight. But I will say, Sammy, if Miami plays the way they've been playing, leaning towards the running game, keeping it short and sweet with Tua in the passing game, playing that defense the way they've been playing, Miami could surprise the naysayers tonight. What do you have to say about that?
Absolutely. They mean the Steelers running defense is not the best run defense in the world. So, the Dolphins, if they play the way they've been playing last couple of weeks, since the last loss was in October 30th, and they've been running the ball well ever since. So if they find a way to run the ball, Tua doesn't, make one of those costly mistakes with anyone around that he just throws right at the opponent, we'll have to wait and see if that happens. And the Dolphins find a way to play defense and stop the run, and basically get to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, when he's not comfortable, he's not the same player he was. So you had to put a body in him. You had to get into the ground. You had to sack it a couple of times, make him feel like the defense there. If that happens, the Dolphins have a good chance. If not, we're up for a long night, my friend. So fingers crossed. I think the Dolphins might be able to run the ball. Hopefully, Mike Daniel is ready and the Dolphins are ready. So we have to wait to see what happens. Hi, Diaz. Love you. I love you so much. I think he has a crush on me because he's everywhere after me. So we'll be tapping out.
We're always. Yeah. Go Steelers with F. Aaron Rodgers. Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Like that, huh? Like that. All right, bro. Got you, Russ. I got you. Like that bum Cena. It is the way it was supposed to be, man. And I tell you what, it was a great match. It was a fun match to watch. But everybody has opinion. Again, enjoy the show. That's all I gotta say. Absolutely. Enjoy as best you can. Of course, we are talking about John Cena losing to Gunther. Everybody's all, oh, they should have let him win. But then it's about putting people over. Oh, let the younger generation go over. Let him put somebody. He put someone over, and God forbid they did the wrong thing. It's like, come on.
Is Gunther? Do you think he was gonna lose? If you're gonna lose if he wasn't with the last match, he wouldn't have not been against Gunther. There's plenty of other people he would have won the last match against. But Gunther, is there to lose to Gunther.
And here's my thing. I will say, I did predict Cena win because he lost to Dominic, and I was like, Gunther's the perfect because he could beat Gunther. He could have that Super Cena moment, which they teased, the Super Cena moment. Super big win, and it would not hurt Gunther. But did you see and again, we're going to no holds barred wrestling territory here, which is just what it is.
Yeah,
we're going to do it.
We'll
roll back, but it's FTSN, baby. We do anything. I'm going to tell you, did you see that reaction after the match? Did you see what happened to Gunther after the match outside the arena?
Yeah, but
it did exactly what it was supposed to do.
John Cena has been wrestling in WWE for almost 20 years. His fan base is one of the best fan base in the world in any sport. C Nation is, they're really committed. So, the crowd was basically Cena fans who were there to see his last match. Of course, there's a percentage of fans who are casual fans or everyday fans, but the diehard fans, the Cena fans were there. But it was expected they would be mad if Cena didn't win. So, and the chance of tribulation and everything, they make it such a. I said sad after the match because they make it kind of uneventful the way he kind of tap out and he never give up and he gives up. So that was kind of sad. I don't know. I would have done maybe something else. I'm not saying what I would have done. I'm not saying.
I think Josh Kimmel had it great. I think Josh Kimmel. I think Josh Kimmel did it good where he said that Cena never gives up and just lets his hand fall for the third time and then that's a wrap. I think that would have been better because then he would never have given up. But
he would have won, but never give up and he gives up.
Well, it looked like too, like you could see him kind of smirking at the end, like it was like, okay, this is it.
It was kind of a movie, like
it's like, all right, get your goofy ass out of here. We're done with you. No, your goofy ass smile out of my damn screen. Yeah, get out of here.
Kind of weird, but not gonna.
But anyway, back to the Dolphins. The NFL, yes, of course, Sunday football. If it couldn't have gotten any worse for the Dolphins, the Dolphins still have a chance, technically, to get to the playoffs. It's now a 2% chance to get to the playoffs.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's still a chance.
Like that
the Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Bills, the LA Chargers, and the Texans winning yesterday have now cut Miami's chances from 10% to a very slim 2% chance to make the playoffs. So there's still a chance, but un poquito, a little bit of a chance.
Poquitito in a chance because it's a little bit more than a poquito.
So look, all Miami has to do again. It happened last year. It's going to be this way this year, especially if they do continue winning. Is they're going to have to rely on other teams to lose. That's the hole they've dug themselves in, and that's the never-ending, drug-out story of the Miami Dolphins. Putting yourself in such a hole that you can't even control your own destiny. You have to let others do it for you. I will say, at least for the Miami Dolphins, you don't want what happened last year with Tyreek Hill looking at the board, says that it's over, he's done, he's walking off. No, don't look at the board. Don't look at anybody else's games. Focus on your games and win out. Because now, you're playing for people's jobs here. And it's what it is. Let's see here. NFL insurance up 5-0. Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry, I did see that. Phillip Rivers. How about Phillip Rivers? Comes out of retirement and does that. My goodness, man. What a story.
That guy didn't want to be home with those many kids because after 5 years of retired, he goes, I'm out of here.
He's like, I'm going. And he's like,
he was a finalist for the Hall of Fame this year. He was one of the semi-finals. So basically now he has to wait 5 more years in any case to be in the ballot again. So it's crazy.
It is.
Of course, it wasn't a disaster. A lot of people thought it could be a disaster. I think he was very capable. And, he looks like he had a little bit of weight. So that's good because he's 42, if I'm not mistaken, 44, 42. Taking that pounding at that age, a little junk in the tank is not that bad for him because now he can take the pounding. But he didn't look like the Philip Rivers. I remember he was like,
no, he got some. He Coach Rivers now. He's Coach Rivers. Yeah, I'll tell you, that was a cool video though, seeing his team cheering him on.
Kids,
that was really neat. That was really neat. But again, because of the Chargers, the Texans, the Buffalo Bills, their victories, Miami's chances have now dropped to a slim 2%. Again, Miami, I get, we've both said it. I'll just speak for myself and then carry over. The question was asked on Fins TV a while back was, do we believe Miami can run the table? So far, they've been doing a good job of that. They've won 4 straight, but running the table, making the playoffs. No, I don't see them making the playoffs. More than likely, right now, they're not going to do it. Could that end tonight? Could the final nail in the coffin be tonight for Miami losing to Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh on primetime in this type of weather? Maybe. Or, even if they do get eliminated by someone else, but continue to win, how will the fans feel about that? And how will Stephen Ross feel about that? I know last week after Miami's 4th straight win, even Finstanza was saying he'd rather have McDaniel be back than Tua come back. He's kind of, so now there is talk around the league, around the fan base that people would start feeling comfortable with McDaniel coming back. However, Miami losing today, officially eliminating the Dolphins possibly, does that eliminate fans' softening stance on Mike McDaniel coming back? What type of vibe do you think we get after this game, Sammy, from the Dolphin fan base? So, you have Fins TV, you got the panel there, so you get a good vibe, different vibes from each type of fan. Where do you think the fans will stand if Miami lose today on Mike McDaniel?
Well, you have the 2 exactly complete opposites. If they win tonight, Mike McDaniel is safe for another week. Fans are going to be saying, like, maybe he should come back, stir the ship. He decides to come back. Yes, for sure. True story, yes. If he loses tonight by 1 or by 20, we're back to square one. The last month and a half of the Dolphins winning is off the table because that's the nature of Dolphins fans. They're just going to remember the latest thing. They're going to say everything that the Dolphins accomplished for the last 4 weeks, winning the last month and a half, basically winning games, is off the table. It didn't happen. It's like that Men in Black movie when Will Smith, nothing happened. Fans are going to go back to square one, and they're only going to remember that the Dolphins are not making the playoffs, And now in an even worse position because they're always going to start saying, hey, who's here? They're going to start talking again about the draft position and all that stuff. So the chaos is going to run rampant. Now, we're back doing limbo, the middle of the pack, all that crap, which is kind of true. But, I do believe that if you want to change the culture, you have to win games, regardless.
100%.
We cannot be talking every single week about changing the culture, about the toughness of the Dolphins, and then expect them to lose. If you are losing franchise, you are losing franchise. If you're up to the path to winning, you're going to try to win regardless. And everything figures out itself later. So, if the Dolphins win, it's just a difference for a week. If the Dolphins lose by 1 or by 20, the heat is back on Mike McDaniel. Even if it comes back next year, I think a huge part of the fan base are going to go back to saying, same old Dolphins, he should be fired, Tua should go, everything. True, real or not, true or false, right or wrong, that's what's basically going to happen because that's the nature of the fans. That's the way we are as a Fins Nation fan base. So sometimes it's frustrating, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's right on. Let's bring in our Canadian bacon brother in the house. He is there, being dad, watching his son play hockey. There he is. There's trouble. What's up, brother?
Oh, I love you.
Bobby, I checked the weather in Nashville today. Holy moly, you're as cold as Canada. It's upset. It's insane in Nashville.
I was telling him, dude, yesterday was bad. Yes, I know exactly what Pittsburgh's feeling. Yesterday we were 15, it was 15 and felt like 0. We were walking back from church, and I told my wife's like, you want to go get breakfast? I'm like, I want to go to the car. So we said, all right, we'll go to Ruby Sunshine. I said, let me run. I go, Audrey, run let's go, not run, but jog. As soon as I jog all the way, I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, thank God I got a beard, bro. Cold.
You guys, you're feeling the Canadian weather. I actually am in a hockey arena to warm up. The weather you guys have, the weather in Pittsburgh is the same weather in Canada. It's 15 degrees here. It's insane. I'm used to it by now, but no, it's crazy. The weather in the northeast and everything, it's crazy right now across the United States. In here, the weather has been awful. The only difference we have, which you don't have in the States, is I actually have to have a special type of tire. When winter starts, for about 5 months, you have to have a special tire on, or they'll tow your car and they'll fine you hundreds of dollars a day until you put the special tire on because of the cold weather. Yeah.
Well, thank God we live in a democracy, brother. Come on over to America.
I'm trying. America can't handle things, Denver.
Well, anyway, we're happy that you're here, my man.
I'm here.
We were just talking about how the games have played out yesterday. Well, first off, Kansas City eliminated. First time since 2014. They're out of the playoffs. Pat Mahomes out for the year with an injury now for the rest of the season. And he has that Tom Brady injury. So pretty crazy that they're out, and Miami technically still in, but from 10% now down to 2%. Very slim hopes for Miami with Buffalo, Chargers, and Texans winning. So Finstanza, I was just asking Sammy where the vibe might be after the game. Last week when we were talking after 4 straight wins, I was saying, look, you look at everything, prime time, Pittsburgh, the weather. You look at it, you go, nah, dude, this is not a Miami type of football game, not lately. But if Miami does what they've been doing, good defense, good we lean on the run, Tua, slim to, very short, immediate, quick to the point passes, Miami could have a shot to win this game. However, if they do lose, more than likely it's over. I was asking because what the vibe was last week, especially like, we were talking about Tua, and you were like, I'd rather have McDaniel come back than Tua. If Miami were to lose tonight, how would that vibe change? Where would your stance be at that point? Where do you think the fan base may stand? Because now the fan base is starting to soften the stance on McDaniel. The league or the media across the nation starting to softening their stance. Does that fall back to where it was before if Miami were to lose?
No, I think that it depends on how they lose. I don't think the perception in Stephen Ross's mind is about the playoffs. Because if it was about the playoffs, then he would have made a change much earlier in the season, and I think he would have done it around 3 or 4 games. I think that this is just a matter of how they play out the season. Do they change? Have they changed their identity? Is there a new mentality? Who's really to blame? Right now, if you really think about it, McDaniel has actually changed the way he plans a game. Has he changed the way he is as a coach? I don't believe as an overall head coach. he's gotten that much better, considering the fact that they're still taking some bad penalties and he's not aware of what's going on in the game when they're key moments. Like I said, he's still trying to protect Tua a little bit, but they do have a new identity. They're utilizing the offensive line in a more run attack, the way they were drafted and the way they were designed. The defensive line is now showing spurts. The secondary is playing well. They're utilizing the running game. There's a new identity to this team. The problem we have with this football team, in a nutshell, whether they win today, whether they win tomorrow, and you saw it in yesterday's game, quarterback is absolutely everything. So whether it's Josh Allen yesterday, whether it's you have a Matt Stafford who comes back, there's a reason why quarterbacks run this football league. And as long as we don't have a quarterback that is able to overcome adversity on a consistent basis. Like, I look back at the stats and I go, in this 4-game winning streak, Tua Tagovailoa has had all games under 200 yards. That is Bobby. That is, you talked about how he should be a game manager. He is the game manager of game managers now. The problem we have is that when he's doing these under 200 yards against bad football teams. It's the same narrative, but we all seem to be forgetting. We're happy with the wins, but this is the second year in a row that we're 1-6, 2-6, and we've had to overcome it. So from the perception of me, of the team as a whole, I believe that they have this ability to overcome adversity because they've come back from behind. This very Dolphin-like, whether they were 1-7 with Flores, 2-6 last year, 1-6 this year, etc. But at the same time, there's a fundamental problem with this football team. So even if they were to win out, I look at the schedule, and I'm sure everyone, when I look at the schedule, every team that is ahead of us, that is in a playoff spot, has a very weak game somewhere. Like, they're playing a team like the Buffalo Bills are playing the Jets. A team like the Texans are playing the Raiders, I believe the Ravens are playing a weaker team. All the teams that are ahead of us, whether they're Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Houston, for me, they win today. Yes, they'll overcome the mindset of winning in below zero weather and the adversity that they're able to apply. But it doesn't change the fact that this isn't good enough. That the overall concept of this team, for me, it's not good enough. So my point for me about the whole McDaniel thing is, if they get but I agree with Sammy, if they lose by 1 or they lose by 20, it's irrelevant to me. If they lose tonight, then I believe it's time for heads to roll. If they win tonight and they do win out and Tua continues to struggle, then Mike McDaniel maybe should be given the opportunity to get another quarterback. The problem we're having is that look at the quarterbacks in this league with all the injuries that have happened. So Kansas City is going to be clamoring for a quarterback unless they re-sign Minshew. Who are we going to go get next year? You're going to have a quarterback that you're unsure of next year as a veteran to replace Tua. So what? So the problem is that right now we need Tua. We actually kind of need Tua to find his inner warrior and show up tonight. If he doesn't show up tonight, I think Mike McDaniel should go, only in the sense that we're not going to be better next year. We're going to regress no matter what. And because this average nonsense of fighting for a playoff spot at 1-6, 2-6, all these things, it's just not the expectation, Bobby. We want to bang pots. We want to be cheering for our team when it's relevant. Like, Bobby, last night, if it would have been 21-0, Sammy, if it would have been 21-0 yesterday in Foxborough, even with the Dolphins in 2023, down 21-0, even with the 2023 Miami Dolphins, they weren't coming back in that football game. There's a lack of why? Because we don't have a Josh Allen. We have a James Cook and Devon Achane, but we don't have a Josh Allen. We don't have that guy who could put the team on his back and win. And unfortunately, we're not going to find him in this year's draft unless we find by luck, or if McDaniel can develop Ewert or can find somebody to do something with. But I don't think he's on this roster right now. So for me tonight, I'm looking forward to watching as a fan. But at the same time, I don't have expectations. There's a 2% chance. Oh, we have a chance? Yes, I'm going to cheer for them. I want them to win more than anything. But even if they win, I think we're all going to be disappointed. There's no one here, whether you're a Daniel, whether you're a Scotty, whether you're a Chris Parker, you're a Big E, you're anyone. no one truly believes that if we win out, we're making the playoffs. No one can actually truly believe that with your heart of hearts. Go look at the teams that are ahead of us and who they have to play. The Raiders got shut out yesterday. The Jets got shut out. They got just crushed yesterday by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Teams that Buffalo have to play, the Dolphins are just playing to play out the season and to have fun for contracts for next year. There's no one in our right mind. I think we could finish 10-7. I think we could finish 9-8, but we're not making the playoffs. We're fighting for a winning record and for jobs next year. That's all the season is. It's to overcome moments. Oh, we won in cold weather. Oh, we had another winning record in the season. But we're not fighting for a playoff spot. The playoff is an aberration. I never thought they were going to make the playoffs to begin with. I just want my team to win. That's all I want, whether they win or not. The same way J.J. McCarthy yesterday with the Vikings. He sucked in the beginning. But in the end, he won a very important game, and it knocked the hearts out of the Cowboys yesterday. That's what. Maybe we could play spoiler for Tampa, right? Maybe we could play spoiler for New England. That's what our job is now for the rest of the season. Play spoiler for Pittsburgh. That's our job right now. We're playing spoiler. We're not playing winner. We're playing spoiler. And by the way, that's not a prediction, Bobby. That's a spoiler.
Oh, there you go. I like.
By the way, we'll talk about it on the side. I was not impressed with Saturday night.
You just missed. We talked about it.
He smiled.
We just talked about it. We talked about it.
He goes, like, he smiled. He smiled when they're tapping out. Who smiles?
It was the end, man. It was like, I did my job. That's the end of my story.
Cha-ching!
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like,
anyways.
Yeah. That's why we need a win. I don't give a damn about the playoffs. I don't want to hear about Aaron Rodgers. Just like you don't want to hear about 6-7.
But by the way, the Dolphins today, by the way, have the younger team. They have the more, actually, I think they have the more explosive team today on the field because they have Devon Achane, they have Ollie Gordon, they have Jalen Wright, they have Jalen Waddle. There's no TJ Watt. Like, if you can't beat, that's a huge break. That's a huge, massive break, Bobby. Like, I made a
hopefully he does all right because I know it's.
By the way, remember a prediction I made a couple weeks ago about the Indianapolis Colts? Remember a couple weeks ago I said they're going to lose out?
Yeah.
Who said that a couple weeks ago? Weeks ago I said it. They're going to lose out. They're losing out. They're going to lose out. Like, so even with the opportunities, if you really think back on all the losses and the mistakes that McDaniel and Tua have made throughout the season, it tells you what's going on, right? So in the end today, it's all about playing, right?
Freaking Cowboys. The freaking Cowboys. I will want to say, too, before Sammy responds to Finstanza, shout out to Fins TV. Fins TV will be live tomorrow night with Sammy and the crew. 7. What time, Sam? I'm sorry.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Eastern time.
Mike Cunha from CBS Miami. So
there you go. So win, lose, or draw, guys. Tune in to Fins TV tomorrow with Sammy and the crew and their special guests as they talk about the Dolphins game and going forward. I just was doing up, Sammy kind of teased it before. He's really cruel because every time I see a loss end up on my pick'em, I think about that nice ring. And he said, "Oh, look what's here," and he showed it, and and I'm like, "Oh gosh." But just to run that through right now, currently, Hi,
Adrian.
Adrian, yeah, Adrian, you prick. I see you in there. Adrian, first place right now, Adrian.
What a comeback, man. That's unbelievable.
By the way, I did the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, by the way, I've done everything to pick the opposite because I have no choice but to catch up, and I'm screwing up. By the way, I will be proud of myself in my actual fantasy pool that I've been doing with a bunch of buddies for like 20 years. I'm the 8th place team. I had a lot of injuries with Tucker Kraft and a bunch of injuries throughout the year. I made it. I'm facing the first place team in the quarters, and I crushed it. And I'm going, this is the best. I love coming from 8th place. Unlike the Dolphins, I'm able to come from the last playoff spot and actually win.
Well,
the only way I lose tonight is if Jalen Waddle gets negative points.
Well, I was saying was that Jalen Waddle, I saw a prediction earlier and I had to do it. They said, how many yards do you think he got? I said 67 yards. But I had to do it. But
did you see how many yards Kenny? By the way, do you know Kenny Pickett yesterday for the? You know how many yards he had yesterday? Maybe over under for Tua. Kenny Pickett in the game yesterday that he lost 31-0 to the Eagles. You know he had 63 yards passing in 4 quarters. 63 yards passing.
Wow.
Devon H gets that on 2 runs.
Yeah, look, Adrian said 63 yards. You see, so I got 6'7". He has 6'3".
Yeah.
But let me just run this down very quick because it is. Sammy's absolutely right. It is so freaking close. I mean,
Yes.
Adrian leads it with 148 wins, 73 losses. Jason Sarney, shout out Finn's Faithful Podcast, right behind him at 148.74. Then Spirit Fingers, 147.75. Steve, 146 over 76.
Steve is surging also. Steve is moving.
Yeah, me and Stevie are tied, 146.76. Then Dolph Freaky, 144.75. Bearded at 144.77. I mean, my goodness, it's right there. It is right there. And that's where the whole, I can't stand the freaking Cowboys. What a bunch of freaking losers are the Dallas Cowboys. And I say it because they screwed me up yesterday. I was like, I think they can beat the Vikings. I was wrong. But now I'm really conundrum with the whole Dolphins versus Steelers, which is we'll get to that towards the end. But yeah, Sammy, man, your response to what Finstanza was saying, I'm actually that's some logical, legitimate, I'm zoned in. I'm listening to some good stuff. It's like when you know what it is? He has to behave himself because he's outside in public. So he can't do his normal. It's what it is. So I know what it is. I know what it is.
So that's Evan speaking, right?
That's Evan.
That's Evan speaking.
Not Finstanza. It's Evan.
That's the guy.
We know when we get him later at post game, he'll be back to Finstanza in his house, and it's I told you.
I'm saving it for post game, Danny. I'm saving it for post game.
There it is. Oh man. But yeah, Sammy, your thoughts, bro.
We talked so many weeks about it's not only winning, it's how they win. And the Dolphins, when it comes to December and January, they failed to run the ball, they failed to win in the cold weather, they failed to win at night. So this game has it all. If they do the things they usually don't do, they find a way to run the ball, they win in December, they win in the cold, they win at night, it will be a very impressive win for Mike McDaniel. So he should get all the kudos in the world to find a way to do it. If he loses, basically everything he has done goes outside. It doesn't matter anymore because it's status quo. It didn't change anything within the last 4 weeks. If you cannot do that and find a way to run the ball and win in cold weather. If he wins, very impressive. If he loses, we're back to square one.
I think that's absolutely fair. It makes a lot of sense. We do have our game inactives. Nothing, I don't think any too concerning. It's been pretty much same old. Quinn Ewers is your emergency third quarterback. Elijah Campbell, AJ Green, Larry Borum, Taj Washington, Matthew Butler, all out inactives for today's game. Any surprise for you guys?
Basically the same as last week, right? I don't think there's many difference. Right, Evan? I think it was the same.
Nothing. What? Yeah, nothing surprises me. No, nothing. Pretty much the same line. So I meant to ask you guys, how worried are you about Devon Ach's rib? Would you spend more time giving the ball at the beginning of the game in this cold weather game and sprinkle in Achan, or would you play him outright?
Sammy, I'll let you go first.
Basically, everything's well. I rather think that the Dolphins are basically very healthy right now compared to the start of the season. So it's not like we had inactives like, we're going to miss so. Basically, the Dolphins are very capable today. Have been the healthiest they've been all season. Defensive line is playing very well. So there are no excuses. The team is there to win the game. We don't have one of those losers. Even Jalen Phillips, the Dolphins are basically better in the pass rush since Jalen Phillips is gone. So the Dolphins are 4-0 since with the trade, and I think the Eagles are 2-3 or whatever. So the Dolphins defense, the front seven has been playing better since Jalen Phillips was traded. So they're healthier, they're playing very well. They're not missing anyone. The inactives are inconsequential. The team is there to win the game. They have to go out there and do it tonight.
No, right on. Yeah, Adrian, loaded night. Panthers, Heat, Dolphins, and Monday Night Raw. It's a new era on WWE Monday Night Raw. The end of Cena. Gunther's reign begins. What's next? I guess we'll find out. But yes, the Heat do play. I believe they play Toronto. Florida is playing the Thunder. The Lightning. Josh Kimmel is live at the game. He texted me, "Go Bolts." He's a traitor, but that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, no surprises there.
Just keep on reminding him that Victor Hedman's out till February.
I will. Any surprises there with you, Vincent, in regards of Miami's inactive?
No, nothing surprises me. There's no excuses. They have the healthier team, like Sammy said. And I don't want to hear about weather because it's not individuals who don't win. This is a Dolphins thing. This is a mentality thing. By the way, they went out when they arrived on Saturday night and were playing in the snow and practice at 10 o'clock at night. So they are building themselves up to play in this weather. So I don't want to hear about the fact that they're not prepared. It's a football game. Like Joe Shad talking about how all teams should be playing in dome stadiums to make it even. That's not what football is about. Whether it's hot, whether it's cold, it's football. All these guys are there to play a violent warrior sport. It doesn't matter if it's cold or warm. Play your game, and it doesn't matter. Just do your job.
It doesn't matter, but I'll tell you what, if the NFL was played during MLB season, the Dolphins will Super Bowl champions every single year because the weather kind of matters. So I only want Parry. I only want the league to put the Buffalo Bills opening day at 1 p.m. in Miami in September. Is that too much to ask? Because the Dolphins have to finish the season every single year, even in Buffalo, the Jets, or New England. So weather matters. I just want the party. I don't want them calling OSHA and saying that with the hot and the humidity and all that crap they've been taking the time. If we had to go to the cold weather in December, ask every single team in our division to go to Miami in the early part of the season. That's only fair.
Right on. Russ asks, how are we feeling about Fernando Mendoza winning the Heisman Trophy? As in with Hispanic descent, first Cuban American. I love it. I thought it was really cool. I love the moment he had with his grandparents. I think it's well deserved. I think I think Diego Pieva is getting a little too much criticism. He is who he is, the Vanderbilt quarterback. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, but I get it. But I like Mendoza winning the Heisman Trophy. Man, he's been awesome, and more than likely, maybe first quarterback off the board, possibly, maybe to the Jets. But I thought it was really cool that he won the MVP. Inactives for the Steelers: Roman Wilson, their receiver. Will Howard is their emergency third quarterback. James Pierre, their corner. Andres Pete, guard, out. Broderick Martin Rhodes, D tackle, out. Derek Harmon, D tackle, out. And of course, as we've already discussed, TJ Watt, linebacker, also out. So that's pretty big for the Steelers, and a break for Miami. Let me see here. Oh, I missed this here. Let's see. At least it's not snowing. That would have been cool, though, if it was snowing. Everything I see is there. But Derek Harmon, the Steelers, their injury report that's a big deal. Evan, what do you think about the Steelers injury report compared to the Dolphins?
Like I just said, they're very unhealthy. They have a 40-something-year-old quarterback. Their team is underperforming, and they have by the way, I actually think there's more pressure on the Steelers now than there are on the Dolphins. The Steelers had his high hopes. They signed Aaron Rodgers. They traded for Jalen Ramsey. They got Johnny Smith. There's a lot of pressure around Mike Tomlin. They have a division they could potentially win. The Dolphins literally had no expectations this year. Like, as much as we think there are expectations, there were no expectations on all of our minds. Yes, we wanted to win, but the expectations are much higher in Pittsburgh this year. We're going to get Aaron Rodgers and going to get Jalen Ramsey. So in the end, that's what matters. In the end, the fact is that we have the better lineup tonight. We should win this football game. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Let's see here, Russ. I don't know how I feel about that, but also you never know if you're in that situation next year how the class will be. I guess you're talking about being the first quarterback, or maybe being the quarterback on the Jets, how that situation will be. I don't want to see him on the Jets. Even if I don't want to put that on him.
And it looks like that quarterback class is kind of thing, right? So, people are going to try to run to the podium. They probably go up to get a quarterback they need some because it looks like this thing. I'm not as knowledgeable as you guys, but it seems obvious that quarterback class is kind of thing. So
it's getting slim. There's a lot of these guys that's supposed to come out. They're staying. They're transferring.
Yes. Yeah, because they're getting money. They're going to get money.
They're going to get an eye on money, and like they're going to make more. It's the same way. If you look at Quinn Ewers, 2 years. If he would have stayed in college, he would have made a lot more money. How much money did he leave on the table? $7-8 million.
Yeah.
But coming to the NFL, and he's had a couple snaps, he would have been a starter, and he would have been a first rounder this year if he had a good year. Right? He could have done the transfer portal. There's a lot of things he could have done.
Yeah.
So,
just for fun, if you're the Jets and you have 5 first-round picks, you trade all 5 for Joe Burrow to the Bengals? Yes or no? Yeah. Would you trade 5 first-round picks for Joe Burrow?
I pull a Mike Ditka. I trade the whole draft.
So that's just one draft. Right?
I would trade my whole draft this year in 2026 for Joe Burrow.
Because I've seen somehow, the algorithm is kind of weird. So I've seen so many Jets pages running to my pages. I see a lot of Jets fans saying that they had the ammunition to go up to get Burrow, but that and even trading everything for him. So I think that seems like a lot. I might do it just because of the fact it's so difficult to get that type of franchise quarterback. But he's been hurt as much as Tua lately, because if you go down how many games played the last 5 years, I think your Burrow has played less games than Tua.
The thing, right? Because you see Jets, but I've seen Dolphin fans, and even Barry Jackson is bringing that up because, right now with the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo is probably going to get out of Milwaukee. Miami is the favorite right now because there's reports that other teams are not interested in pursuing him. Not that he's a great Giannis is
and
one of the greatest.
That's so Pat Riley, that's
I know. So now there's talk. Okay, well, Giannis or Miami could actually do this. Where the Dolphins, if Joe Burrow demands a trade, should Miami go in on that? Here's my thing. First of all, we know how great Joe Burrow can be when healthy, how talented he is. There is no question who he is and what he is. He could be elite, right? You could say he's elite when he's healthy, but that's the problem. That's the key. When healthy. If we're gonna hold Tua to task about his health. Oh, he's never healthy now. He's lasting this season, but he's an injury-prone guy. We know any little hit is a scary situation. That's the same situation with Joe Burrow. So would I trade the farm as a Dolphins fan? Would I advocate for the Dolphins to trade for Joe Burrow? Absolutely not, because he can't stay healthy. He can't do it. Don't get me wrong. If he's the Dolphins quarterback, breaking news, Dolphins. Yeah, we're all going to be crazy because because we know when he's healthy, he's great. But it's when he's healthy. He's not healthy.
And to be honest, there's precedent in this that the Bengals might not trade him and tell you, if you're not happy, retire. Remember Carson Palmer? He went home just because he wanted to be traded, and they would not trade him. The Raiders had to overpay to trade for him. I think they gave a first-round pick and even more when he was late in his prime or not in his prime anymore. So the Bengals might even say, stay home if you don't want to be a Bengal, because that's the kind of team they are. So they will have to, if you want to get Joe Burrow, you will have to overpay like you never seen before for the player like that, just because he's the Bengals.
Yeah, 100%. Let me see. And there's the weather for tonight. Again, temperature is predicted to be at 15 degrees. The wind chill to be at 5 degrees, and at times 0 by kickoff. Finstanza, you live in this weather. I had it yesterday, but this is a normal day for you. But we know, hey, look, again, I know it's a team game. I brought this up. It's a team game, right? We're going to say that. However, as the starting quarterback, with Tua at starting quarterback, the Dolphins are winless when it's 40 degrees and below. Today is way below that. So, but again, if Miami does what they've been doing, running the ball, leaning on the run, on the defense, you asked a great question about Devon Achane possibly being injured with the ribs. again, I agree. I think that it has to be heavily diversified, the carries today. You cannot lean solely on Devon H and line him up at receiver, split the carries between Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon. Obviously, you got to get Devon H in the ball. But you're right. You shouldn't rely heavy on him, especially this week in this type of weather, in this type of situation. But if Miami could do that, lean on the run like they did last week, their defense playing their top ball, Miami could have a chance to beat this Pittsburgh Steelers, because this Steelers team is not a good football team. It's not a good team. Again, Miami is not either, but Pittsburgh is not a good team. So Miami could win this. But you see this weather, you see this temperature. Do you believe that if Miami plays that type of defense, plays that type of running game on that offense, could they do, even with two at quarterback, could this be the game where Miami could break that losing streak with this type of weather?
Yes, because the whole narrative of cold weather for the Dolphins, last year, I don't count the Jets game that they were scoreboard watching and they knew it was over. The teams they lose in cold weather to are top defenses or top echelon football teams, where they're going into Baltimore, going into Buffalo, going into wherever Kansas City, wherever they're going. They go into these cold weather places where the teams are strong and they lose. This is an opportunity where they're playing probably one of the weaker teams they've played in a while in the cold weather, because they're playing an aging quarterback. They're not playing well. They want their coach fired, and they're missing their best player. Their best player is not there. The Dolphins have their best players on the field tonight, minus Tyreek Hill, but they've been without Tyreek Hill forever. The whole week this week, they were planning to have TJ Watt. So in the end, for me, there are no excuses. Like, if they lose tonight, the Dolphins lost. I don't look at the weather. I'm not considering the weather a factor tonight. The weather is irrelevant to me. It's irrelevant to me anymore. It's football. I don't consider the weather, because Bobby, how many times were they in Buffalo in the snow game where they were averaging 7 yards a carry? Remember that, Sammy? They were averaging 7 yards a carry, and then he started having Tua throw the ball. Right? They had 7 yards a carry. Duke Johnson, great runner for us. Duke Johnson having great season for Mike, and they said, but Tua started throwing the wet football. Stick with what works. In this type of game, you run it. Remember Bill Belichick remember years ago, they were playing in New England. It was a windy game in Buffalo, and they won 9-6, and then he threw the ball 5 times the whole game. So go watch 1970 football where Bob Greasy was throwing the ball like 8 times a game. Like, I don't care. Just make smart throws. I don't want anything forced. And also you saw it with Tua, unless the guy is wide open in his spot throws and he's anticipating and he has to force it and he has to adjust to the play at hand, especially in cold weather, forget it. He's going to be intercepting the ball. Like, Jalen Ramsey playing safety today and center field is going to cause him a problem today. Like, do not make Jalen Ramsey a factor in this football game tonight, too. He's going to be irrelevant if you play HM. HM, Wright, and Gordon should have a combined total of 45 runs tonight. Tua should have maybe about 17 passes. Tua should go about 12 to 14 to 17, $140, 1 touchdown, maybe 0 touchdowns. As long as the running game goes for at least 200 yards, $175 or more today, you'll win the football game. Because your special teams there's not going to be, especially don't really will be a massive factor. I think Ryan Patterson will do a job. The defense is going to play well tonight. The defense is, I'm like, man, how is it, Bobby? After all these years, Bobby and Sammy, after all these years of investing in the offense and Mike McDaniel being the offensive coordinator, once again, late in the season, we're not worried about the defense. We're worried about the offense. Why is that? It's the same old thing. Our secondary, our defensive line, now it's all about the offense again. What will the offense do today? It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable. Once again, your most expensive player, and your second most expensive player are not up to task right now. Waddle and Tua on the field are not up to task right now.
And Tua basically is never been built with this kind of weather. You know, it's the wind, the cold, whatever. You know, Tua always flops. So when Adrian says 50 runs, maybe not 50, but they better be ready to basically run every single guy they have. They have to run A-Chain. They have to get Raylan Wright. They have to run Ollie Gordon. They have to find a way to, Malik Washington, run that ball too. Everybody has to run the ball today, because throwing the ball in that kind of weather, that's the only good news that the Dolphins are basically handicap on offense. The fact that Mike McDaniel doesn't have the temptation to throw those faces that Rick like you usually do in that kind of weather. So run the ball, stick to the game plan, use the 6-man, use the tight end for short passes, and let's see what happens. Right, Evan?
100%. 100%.
When he makes a good running game plan, it's been good. He's been very effective, very effective. He has to stick to the run. He has to commit to the run. Yeah, and the Steelers defense is not the best running defense. So the handicap is himself. Is he tries to get cute and tries to ask to roll the ball. Those turnovers are there, or two of those fumbles or whatever because in the pocket, turnovers are key. Then offense cannot turn the ball over. They field position, that kind of weather is key. So protect the ball, run the ball, get after the quarterback, stop the run, and the offense have a chance.
All right, Sammy, I'll stick with you, my man. You kind of just hinted at it, so I'll let you make it official. Your keys to a fins-up victory, brother.
Like I said, run the ball, stick to the game plan. Asian, Ollie Gordon, Jalen Wright, everybody has to talk. Even Malik Washington everybody has to run the ball. Everybody with Tua. I don't want to see Tua running. I don't want to see Tua escaping. Dump it off, do whatever, just don't run. Protect the ball, basically, Tua. Don't fumble the ball. Don't throw that stupid interception. Don't ask for Adrian to say permacross at any point in the game. Rush the passer. Aaron Rodgers needs to feel the pass rush, needs to get hit, sack him, throw him to the ground, make them feel the pass rush, make it be dirty, and of course, stopping the run because if they control the clock, the Dolphins had no chance. So if they do that, I have it very, very, very close, but I think the Dolphins have a chance to win it tonight.
There you go. Evan, your keys to victory.
Key to the game, 40 plus runs for the running game. I need some turnover. I want to see at least one or two. I want to see 2 turnovers from the defense to support the offense, and take every point that you get. I don't care. 4th and 1. I don't care if you're unsure. Literally, go for it. Don't go for it. Kick the field goal. Take the punt. It's a position. It's a position game tonight. A yardage game. Don't force things today. Like, play a conservative, smart, trap football game, and you're gonna win.
There you go. I think you guys have been right on. I'll say too. I mean, again, when you look at the Steelers inactives report, that screams the game plan right there. Derek Harmon being out is massive for Miami.
He's the best defensive player right now for them.
TJ Watt is big, but in terms of the running game, which is Miami's strength, especially led by Devon Achane. And you think about what our other 2 younger backs have done with Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon, that tells you what Miami should do on offense. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what Miami should be doing or how they should be attacking the Steelers defense, which is not very good. Their defense is not a good defense. They're ranked below Miami. Their offense is ranked below Miami. So first things first, run the ball. Run the ball. That's it. You want to diversify the offense. You don't want to make it so obvious they're going to run time. Okay, the passes you make, keep them short, keep them sweet. Rely on the speed of your offense, your weapons, to make plays for you. Don't throw it deep. He can't do it. Leave it alone. Throw it short, throw it fast, get it out of there. Let Jalen Waddle make a play. Let Devon Achane make a play. Just go. And in regards of defense, continue doing what you've been doing. You're playing your best football right now. Pressure Aaron Rodgers, force him to make mistakes, force them to, and then, I'm with Evan. I want to see, Miami has to win the turnover battle. That's what I'll say. Miami has to protect the football. That's no interceptions, no fumbles. Protect that ball. They got to come away with some turnovers today. Take the air out of that stadium. Make that a Miami game tonight. That's what they need to do. Short, sweet, simple, to the point. Don't leave points on the board. Saying that, Finn Stanza, your prediction, sir.
My prediction for today's game, I'm really struggling with this, but I to this day, Mike McDaniel has yet to prove me right, prove me wrong, and he always seems to get to a chance to prove himself. I'm always remembering the Kansas City game where it's the third coldest game in playoff history, and coming out of the half, we need to run the ball more, and he threw the ball 3 times. I have this weird feeling Tua is going to be turnover by Loa at one point in the key moment of the game, and it's going to be a tight game. And when they have the chance to establish a lead and to extend it, he's going to make a bad. We're going to be winning by 3. He can close the book on the game. He's going to make a bad turnover, and they're going to come back. And unfortunately, the Dolphins are going to lose 21-17.
21-17 for Stanza. All right. Sammy?
I have a feeling, just with my heart, not with my mind, that based on what the Dolphins have been doing lately, I think they're going to win tonight. And I know it's crazy, but I think it's by 1 point. So I'm going to say 24-23 Dolphins.
I have it exactly the same way. 24-23 Steelers. I have a 24-23 Steelers, man. I just have this sneaking suspicion. I hate it. Again, I hope I'm wrong. But again, I feel like what Evan was basically leaning toward with how the game's going to play out. Miami's going to have that lead. It's going to be 23-21. They're going to give Aaron Rodgers a little too much time to get downfield. They're going to get that field goal, and they'll pull it out. But I get it. Again, I told you how tough this is. I told you before. Like I had a really hard time because I love the vibe going on with the Dolphins. I love the energy in that locker room. The energy by even the interim general manager, what he's doing. Like Miami is rocking and they're loving it. And could this carry over? Abso-freaking-lutely. Even if they win, do they have a strong chance to make the playoffs? Absolutely not. But winning is the most important thing. However, I think the streak ends tonight. I think they'll go 6-8, and I have it 24-23 Pittsburgh. So I absolutely love it. I was like, oh, man, okay, 24-23. No one's going to have that. Evan got a TV. He goes, 24. I'm like, oh, 17. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. You're like 24-23. I'm like, okay. So
my mindset is that the Steelers are going to score more times, but the Dolphins will find a way to score more touchdowns. So basically, the Steelers are basically going to score a lot more times, but the Dolphins are going to run pound the ball. We're going to find a way to run the ball and find a way to win. I know it's crazy, but that's the way it is. So we have to hopefully that's the way they say.
No, 100%. 100%. Let me see the comments. Forgive me, guys. I had something else open up here. That's right. It's reverse psychiatry. I predict us to lose so we could win, brother. And then positive Bobby will be. I am positive. I've been positive. I'm still positive. But I'm also realistic. You know what I mean? You notice how I say I'm realistic. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, I got 23. Adrian. All right.
Panthers are already 2-0, and it's been like what 4 or 5 minutes. Wow.
Damn right.
Okay.
There you go. You see?
Wow.
Tonight's the night. Adrian has it 20-17 Miami. And that's the other thing, too. You know what got me? I would have picked Miami to win. However, Sammy, the Fins TV Pick'em League, I'm really into it. I'm like every week, I'm like, my son starts to give opinions. I'm like, you mind your business for a second? And I'm trying to go and then I see that team and I had Miami at first and that was my heart. And I was like, Miami, that's it. But every time I've done that, I've been screwed. So I'm like, you know what? Nah, brother. Nah, because I had to go with my brain, my head, and not my heart. And I'm going to go with Pittsburgh tonight. And I'm not going to fake it here because that's not what you're going to get from me, guys. You always got real. I'm always real with you. So I'm rolling with the Steelers to win this game. If Miami wins, I love being wrong. Few and far between when I am wrong, but I want to make mine being wrong tonight. So I do have it Pittsburgh winning. Adrian has it. Go ahead.
And by any means, it's not that we'll be shocked if the Dolphins go out there and they get crushed.
Oh, no.
Because it's December, it's a cold weather. There's no way we're going to be shocked by that. But the Dolphins have been playing good enough running the ball to make it a close game. So I think that's why we all agree that we should be within we did a field goal or so.
Well, and I'll say too, that's one thing, right? Like, I don't think any of us think, even if, Evan picked Miami to lose, I picked Miami to lose. Aladino has them winning, also 23-19. Let me write that down. But I don't think anybody believes, I don't think Evan or I believe, and Evan could speak if he disagrees. I don't think either of us, we believe they're going to get crushed. This is a very winnable game for the Dolphins. They should have a respectable football game, win, lose, or draw. If they get crushed, if they get embarrassed against the Steelers on Monday night, I don't care about the weather. I agree with Evan. There is no excuse. If they get crushed, yes, the conversation will change. Daniel said last week on post-game show, Evan will change his tune, saying McDaniel's coming back. He'll change his tune if Miami lose. Everybody has a right to change your tune if Miami gets crushed tonight on Monday Night Football against this type of Steelers team. Everyone has a right, as a fan, to change their tune.
Oh, by the way, my tune hasn't changed overall. What I'm coming to the conclusion of is, unfortunately, I said this, remember years ago, Bobby, I used to say, Sammy, you've been to many casinos, I'm sure, in your life as well. You know what they do when you're sitting at the blackjack table? They bring you drinks. They put something in the air, so you don't get up. I've always said that in the Dolphins locker room, the Dolphins coaching room, there's a fair amount of stubbornness. Whether it's Cristobal, whether it's Flores, whether it's McDaniel, they did something to the air in that room that causes them not to be willing to get away from what they truly believe is right. And Mike McDaniel still has. Mike McDaniel, there are moments where Tua should have been benched. Tua should have been given a talking to, and he doesn't. Tua should overcome it, maybe, hopefully. Hopefully, we all want Tua to succeed at some point. Unfortunately, he's not, and how many chances does one guy get, right? The guy continues to get chance after chance after chance after chance. If he gets his butt kicked tonight, there's other chances. There are other chances.
There you go.
And looking at the scores, everybody, even DSG, who has the Steelers winning, is only by 7 points. It's not like, it's all reasonable. It could happen. If the Dolphins lose by even 10, if that's kind of what it will say, it's not a shocker. If they get crushed, it will be disappointing, but we say, it goes to everything we know by now. December weather is here, and the Dolphins get crushed. So it will be disappointing. It will, like I said before, we'll go back to square one to basically everything the Dolphins have done the last 4 games. It doesn't matter. But it wouldn't be the biggest surprise in the world. The Dolphins go out. But the Dolphins have been running the ball good enough, and the Steelers defense is running defense bad enough for the Dolphins to have a chance. That's basically the premise.
That's right. There you go. So anyway, guys, we appreciate everyone tuning in. A lot of people joining us tonight. We appreciate you guys. We are all excited for some good Monday Night Football. If you get a chance before the game, this always hypes me up. You're driving home from work, or you're just before you do, go turn on some Hank Williams Jr. Monday Night Football music. That always hypes me up. It is the best. So that's all I do. So do that right before the game. Get hyped up. I don't care how you feel about the Dolphins season. I don't care how you feel about this football game. Just enjoy the damn game. Enjoy getting to watch our beloved Miami Dolphins play on prime time. And hopefully, for those who are predicting a loss, they surprise us. We end up being wrong, and they make it a 5-game winning streak. They make it respectable in this league. They make it hard to ignore us, the Miami Dolphins. But if they lose, we'll go from there. None of us expect a beat down. We expected a pretty close game, win, lose, or draw. But after the game, no matter win, lose, or draw, we will be back for the Fins Talk post-game show live here on FTSN. Late with our coffee.
will be back.
Oh, God will be back. Oh, my goodness. You're going to get a lot of this? You're going to get a lot of...
I have a silent keyboard. I got myself a silent keyboard.
Oh, we're going to put it to the test tonight. There you go. That's Fin Sammy. I'm Bobby Fins Talk. Fin Stanza over there in the house watching some hockey. Guys, we appreciate you. Enjoy the game. Like, subscribe, and most importantly, as always, Dolphin fans, fins up. We'll see you guys on the other side.